What's going on, everybody? ¿Qué onda toda la raza? Another stream, another live here. We're only going to be on about 30 minutes. We're going to do a little bit of ranked fights. Hopefully, we don't get any quitters like last time. And we're going to talk a little bit about Noche UFC. Vamos a hablar un poquito de la UFC que está en el Día de Independencia de México, septiembre 16. Que es muy interesante. It's very interesting because there's a bigger tell here, and that is MMA has officially surpassed boxing. Las artes marciales mixtas oficialmente han pasado al boxeo. The reason I'm saying how can you take Canelo out of this is Canelo's weekend. It's September 16th. This is Canelo's weekend to fight. Every Cinco de Mayo, every September 16th, Canelo's fighting this weekend. And let's do the math here. Who's fighting this weekend? Well, it's not about who's fighting. It's about what event is on this weekend. Not only that, it'd be a different story if you say Canelo's not fighting this year. He's recovering, coming back Cinco de Mayo. But he's fighting 2 weeks later. Now, call me crazy, but that's interesting to say the least. Y para toda la raza, a lo que me refiero es que el septiembre 16 y 5 de mayo Canelo siempre ha peleado en esos días, esas fechas. Y ahora esto es un paso de artes marciales mixtas que ha tomado muy grande porque le quitaron la fecha a Canelo. Fuera otra diferente historia si dijeras, no, Canelo no va a pelear este año, se va a esperar hasta el 5 de mayo, pero Canelo pelea en las próximas 2 semanas, en septiembre 30. Y no es mucho del nombre o los nombres que están peleando este fin de semana, aunque son unos peleadores que van a estar en la mira. Todos están muy jóvenes en su carrera. Pero sí veo que es algo interesante que ha pasado este año. Pero esas son mis opiniones. That's just my opinion. If you guys want to go back and forth with that, I just think it's a huge, huge step in Mexican mixed martial arts. To take away the date, to take away the venue from boxing, from Canelo, pretty much is the only thing, right? He's boxing, he's fighting. To take away the T-Mobile from him on a holiday like this, that means a lot to all the Mexicans around the world. Pretty interesting to say the least. Got my Smoothie King. Went to the gym. I'm gonna be on here for about 30 minutes. Got some extra time, so let's get with it, man. UFC rank fights. Looks like we're gonna be fighting in heavyweight, light heavyweight. Also, I can't wait for the new game to come out. I think we're about a month and a half away. Already pre-ordered to get those extra. Oh man, I'm going against a 99 guy. All right. Lightweight, we usually go with Mr. Gaethje, Mr. BMF. Every once in a while we go Charles. I really want to do a 4-star though. What's a good 4-star at lightweight? Nate Diaz. Oh, dude, no. Who's he choosing? Let's see. I feel like he wants to go with a 4-star as well. Bobby Green. Let's just go Gaethje. Almost go Gaethje. BMF. Let's go. All right, BMF fight. This is going to be a tough fight. But all right, guys, let's get it. If I win, I deserve a follow, a like, a subscribe on YouTube, follow on Instagram, as you can see down in the banner down below. Subscribe to the YouTube as well. Let's get to this. This guy has KO badges all over his Division 11. I mean, come on, let's go. Let's see what we can do here, boys. Just crank up the volume on my headset real quick. I want to hear it. All right. This guy wants to box. I like to shoot the leg kicks with Gaethje, but it looks like he's aggressive early on. And right on cue, aggressive early on. And he's gonna start moving his head a lot, so I'm gonna need to change my punch count. There it is. We need to play the long game here. There we go. Oh man, I dropped my hands right at the. That was embarrassing. You can't make these mistakes against these high level guys, man. Pretty even fight now. Now I'm taking control of the center. Not that it matters in this game. I remember octagon control used to be a thing in real MMA, which I'm glad they took away because it was part of the scoring criteria. Oh man, I'm already bleeding. This guy's just jabbing me, man. There we go. Yeah, this guy doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go to a decision, man. He's hurt and he's still dropping the 1-2 and going back to the meta of the game. We're about to knock this kid out. Should we taunt? Fuck it. I hate taunting because it comes back and bites me in the butt. Let's knock this kid out, huh? Yeah. All right. Let's just because we're on stream. Oh, I was gonna do one of those wild kicks, but hey, I hope in the new UFC game they add more of these things. Or, I mean, you can't do custom ones because those toxic people will go crazy on it. But hopefully they have a little bit better things. It's like, hey, well played. No, what? Like, I guess. Look, here it is. Here's the message from Caliber. Let's run it back. How about that? Oh no, this guy's actually respectful. You guys don't want to go into the DMs here because it's so toxic, dude. I usually don't put an emoji, but he put an emoji, so I was forced to do that. All right, first fight on stream. Took a W, round 1 knockout. Also, I did back at the gym today, and it's killing me. So if I'm sitting like this, you know why. I usually like to sit like, oh, I get my mic closer, but what does this guy want? Hope JG wins the trilogy. This guy my friend now? How about we go with he will? Hope he KO him. Hope he KOs him. Even brutal. Even more brutal. How about that? And I don't know why I'm using my controller to type. I usually use my keyboard, but all right. Anyways, this is a big reason why I put my picture in the and the banner Mexico, because I want people to know what's up. All right, featherweight and lightweight. These are possibly my favorite divisions to fight in UFC 4. All right, lightweight again. Another 99 fighter, man. Come on. I used to love picking Benny, and then he fought Charles Oliveira, or when he was fighting Charles Oliveira, or he fought him. But on the lead up to it, since I like to use Charles on this game or Gaethje, I just couldn't pick him anymore. Like I bet against Benny. Oh, this guy looking like he's going with Bobby Green. Interesting, interesting. 4-star. Let's go with Miss George Masvidal. I'm down. Let's go. All right, I'm gonna have to focus a little bit here. We'll run one more match and then we'll talk a little bit about Noche UFC. I'll pull up the card here. Oh goodness. Usually at this level, these guys, if they're at level 99, they've seen it all. Especially in the striking department. They know when the low kicks are coming. They know the combos. They know so the way I like to play the game, and this is not I'm not the best player in the world, but it's just changing the punch counts, just giving them different looks, giving them some combos that oh my goodness, I need to focus here. Giving him a single jab. A lot of people do this the 1, 2, 3, and there you see. So he moves his head out. You can definitely tell this dude's like experienced. He's dropping his hands as well, like after for certain combos. This would have been a fun fight in real life. Bobby Green, George Masvidal, just pure violence. What this dude want, man? I'm not gonna reply to him anymore. See, like I'm getting pieced up here. I'm getting too pieced in the soda. So we need to change the punch count. I feel like he's giving me all his combos. See, now he's trying to make up for the miss. When they make you whiff in this game, it feels like crap. It really does. So usually you try to get it back. See, I gave him a traditional combo there. But since I'm against the cage, I gotta be careful here. Man, I'm getting pieced up. To be fair, I don't choose Masvidal in lightweight, but I really wanted to go with a 4-star. And he really is slow here. Will this go to the third round? I feel like it'll pick up. Sometimes you got to make it a boring fight for now. He's still dropping his hands. That's crazy. And I haven't really gone low. I think spamming the overhand right is what's going to get me the win here. What a round. I think I lost that round 10-9. I definitely lost that round 10-9. Yep. But his output is crazy. Maybe I need to start draining his gas tank, huh? It was just a matter of time. Oh my goodness. All respect for you for not going to the ground. Yeah, I need to alleviate this pressure a little bit here. He's gonna reverse me. All right, at least we got a little bit of our and right back to being stunned. I feel like we gotta throw the kitchen sink here. What? Oh my goodness, he countered me so good. Those counters, when you move your head, they pretty much count like 3 times the power. And I need to learn how to do that. We need to show them something we haven't showed them here. So we were gonna go with the body shots. And here we go. I mean, we're on the verge of getting knocked out here, but if we can make him work till the third round, and he clearly knows that, just trying to keep the distance here. He doesn't want me to hit his body anymore, so now he's just gonna pitter patter me. He's winning the fight. I don't blame him. He's just gonna pity patter me until he counters me. That's how he's been hurting me, so it's my fault. Try to counter me there. Try to counter me again. I need to go to the overhand rights now. There it is. What? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Got crucified, got baptized. Mm. That was a good scrap. That was a good scrap. Donnie Picasso. Shout out, brother. Level 99 with badge and stuff. I mean, come on. You're a stud, man. All right, so we're 1-1. That's gonna leave a bad taste in my mouth. I'll probably run one more after we talk about Noche UFC a little bit here. All right, let's go back here. Let me do this. All right, UFC Fight Night. Can we put it on here? Let me see. There we go. The ads are what's going to kill us. So I need to find a way to do this a little bit better. Anyways, let's get to this fight card. Not too many fight cards, no muchas peleas en esta cartelera. 11 peleas, 11 fights in the T-Mobile Arena, obviously in Las Vegas, Nevada. The rematch, I wouldn't want to say much anticipated rematch, but definitely an interesting one. A lot of people, the narrative has been Shevchenko was dominating, winning that fight before she made a mistake, and I I agree with that assessment to an extent, but that's discrediting Grasso's performance. You know, if so, when did Valentina become Valentina Nurmagomedov? You know what I mean? And what gave me a big boost of confidence in going with Grasso yesterday in the presser or the what was it? The panelist, the panel. I don't know what they called it. They called it some. It was pretty much the press conference for Grasso versus Shevchenko too. We, I, I, I really do think Valentina was a little salty. She was a little salty. Um, Valentina was a little salty. She was saying, "Remember, guys, I'm a 17-time world champion in Muay Thai or whatever the championships one was in." Pretty much saying she's a superior striker. And then Grasso hits her back with the, "Well, why did you want to go to the ground with me? Like I thought we were trying to stand and bang." And it's all mind games. I mean, you got to do what you got to do when you're in the octagon. No, not gonna knock anybody for doing the game plan they need to do to win. Unless you're Sean Strickland, you just said F it and stood with Izzy for 5 rounds. Anyways, so when she was saying that, I feel like Shevchenko's trying to give herself some confidence. And again, not taking away from her performance, she definitely was probably up 2-1. Maybe, I mean, fourth round, it ended in the fourth round, so you have to give that to Grasso, but she was definitely up 2-1. But when she felt Alexis' power, or not power, but her speed and her movement and her defense on her stand up, Valentina didn't really touch Grasso, the champion, the one of the women's goats. And Grasso's face was completely scratch free. I mean, her face was red. I don't know if it was because of the crying, but she had no bruises. I mean, and we've seen Valentina, and Valentina is one of those that if you don't have a bruise in the fight, it's because you just got cleanly knocked out, right? Like she's not going to be one of those kind of like the Whaley things where she's just completely dominating you, like quadrupling their strike numbers, or leaving, or kind of like Volkanovski, where all previous opponents of his have, you know, you can't, they're unrecognizable. But yeah, so I feel like, and then nothing wrong with that. You know, she's trying to get her confidence back. She's really is trying to get some confidence boost in her going into the rematch, especially I guess you can say in enemy territory, which I don't think, I think it'll be evenly. I think it's kind of like Strickland, where he went to enemy territory, but people liked him. It's going to be the same thing here. And we haven't seen much disrespect between these two fighters, except for yesterday. It was a little odd. If you guys haven't seen it, go to UFC YouTube page and you'll see the press conference. It was kind of weird. They had Gilbert Melendez as the mediator. It was a little odd, but I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do. But nevertheless, Valentina Shevchenko was the favorite once again. Not as heavy as favorite as the first matchup. But with that being said, Grasso plus, I believe she's like plus 155. You have to go with her. Let's take a look what she's at right now. 145 plus 145. The younger fighter, training partners are insane. I mean, you guys know Diego Lopez, so I'm sure, I'm 1000% positive that she's working off her back. At least 3/4 of the camp, because I feel like Grasso is capable enough to stand with Valentina. Man, that protein shake is getting to me. Um, it's just Grasso has been 1000% working off her back, and with somebody like Diego Lopez, who won off his back his last fight, huge confidence boost. Lobo Gym MMA. The only blemish is Aldana's performance versus the women's goat, but other than that, we're going with Grasso here. We're going with Grasso. We're not going to talk about all the fights. We're going to highlight two fights, well, other than the main event. Um, and then we'll touch up into some of the fights. So the first one we're going to talk about here is Fernando Padilla and Kyle Nelson. Fernando Padilla, I've just grown to be a huge fan of, man. There's a promotion called Fury FC. If you guys, man, look at how many people are picking Padilla. If you guys haven't seen Fury FC fights, they are amazing for being amateur or like lower level promotion. They're doing it right. They're doing it right. I've been to a few live events for Fury FC, and they honestly do feel like UFC events, except all the media and all the the cage side stuff per se. Anyways, let's get into this fight. Fernando Padilla and Kyle Nelson. So let's just look at their last fight. Let's go to Kyle Nelson's. So I know he had a mediocre win against Blake Builder. Blake Builder, no punk. But it wasn't the most interesting of wins. He was an underdog, plus 230 underdog, kind of similar to what he is now. But I feel like it was more of he broke Blake Builder's will. And Blake Builder had never seen, I mean, he had 9 fights maybe. He had never faced adversity like that. Before that, Billy Quarantillo knocked this dude out. Jai Herbert put it on him as well. And Jai Herbert, he's good. He's not great. But you're losing to these kind of people. Billy Quarantillo, you're definitely gonna lose. Especially Billy Quarantillo had to knock him out. That was the right way to do it. And these are pretty much way older fights, so we're not gonna even talk about those. But and he does not look like his picture here. But that's neither here nor there, man. The monster. I feel like it's gonna look a little bit if it does go to decision. I feel it's gonna look a little bit like his last fight where he was just desperately trying to clinch him, trying to get in close. But Fernando Padilla is crisp. One of the everybody talks about the Donald Cerrone combination that he did on Rick's story. But go back and watch his last fight. Go back and watch his last fight with Erosa. That combination didn't have the flashiness of a head kick and like switching levels, but the accuracy especially with his long right. This dude is 6'1" in the featherweight division. That's huge, bro. That's huge. And man, this guy became such a fan of his. Again, I was talking about the Fury FC fight against Cameron Graves here. He fought in the LFA. I mean, this guy has the right credentials here, man. He really does. He really does. He's coming off, and again, I'm a huge fan of Padilla now. So go back and watch his media day interview. Go back and watch his post fight interview with when he knocked out Julian Erosa. And I know what a lot of people are gonna say. Like, well, Julian Erosa, it was stopped early. That's not his fault. But Julian Erosa was definitely hurt. And if anything, you can say that he was being nice because on the ending sequence of the Julian Erosa fight, Julian Erosa didn't go down. He was against the cage and looked like he was gonna go out, but his hands were completely down. If Padilla landed maybe 1 or 2 more shots, he was gonna be completely out. So I mean, if anything, he saved. I mean, Julian Erosa is not a young guy either, so he saved him a couple years there. Anyways, we were talking about the combination. So we'll go back and watch this last fight, the finishing sequence. You'll know what I'm talking about. Crisp, found the chin in every single shot. I think it was like a 15 punch combo with the whole sequence, not just and I if anything, one or two maybe missed. So that's impressive. That's impressive. Again, 26 years old, hungry, nice dude. Go back and watch his interviews. Go back and watch his media day, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Genuine dude, has nothing to lose here. Second fight in the UFC. I know he's a pretty decent favorite here, but what is it? Minus 250 now. I'd still be if he climbs up to the high 200s or over 300s, definitely not worth it. Might have to go props there, but this dude is going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. Um, and he had a good weight cut. I saw the weigh-ins this morning. Solid weight cut. Again, huge body for the division. Kyle Nelson has been a strong body as well, but, but again in the interview, Fernando Padilla said that was a big emphasis in the camp. He really wanted to show that that he can uh, that he can hang with this guy in the strength department. And I really want to see him get another knockout. I really want to see him, put on a good show for everybody. And I believe he will. Give me Fernando Padilla all day. Kyle Nelson, I think his time is up here. And the second fight we're talking about here, the one right after that, Daniel Zellhuber and Christos Giagos. Again, this is another one that I was watching last night. I was watching their media day, their post-fight interviews, and Zellhuber is just. I feel like I believe it was Padilla that said this, or no, I believe it was Golden Boy that said this. He said that the experience, as far as fights go, and I was when I first heard this, and if you guys are hearing this now, you're probably gonna be like, oh, I don't know about that. Like, definitely experience is definitely a factor. But he was talking more about experience is definitely a factor once you're in the big shows, right? Once you're in the big cards, where they have you doing media days. There's promotions that you fight in that they don't you don't do media days. I mean, I don't even think so Huber did a media day for his last fight. And that's what he was talking about here, because Christos Giagos is, I mean, 30 fights total. Um, Coming off a win off of Ricky Glenn, which, I mean, doesn't do much for me. Sean Soriano, but that was 2 years ago. And Carlton minus. So decent favorite. I mean, decent resume there. Zellhuber. So this is what I like about Zellhuber. His last 3 fights, right here, Contender Series, Trey Ogden his debut, and Lando Venata decisions. I am willing. I mean, and I feel like the juice is heavy on the over. I believe it's 2.5 rounds. Even the decision goes to decision is probably a little juiced. I have a strong take to where I feel like he's gonna look for the finish here. I mean, he's a young kid, 24 years old, huge. He's another big body for the division. I mean, he's pretty essentially the same size as Padilla. Padilla's cutting 10 pounds, 10 pounds more. And if we recall, his last fight against Lando Venata could have very well been stopped in the first round. There's a lot of inconsistency in judges these days, where we're calling for early stoppages, late stoppages. Um, I know we just had one in the Contender Series this past Tuesday, where I forgot the fighter's name, where he was essentially out in the last second of the first round, and it was Mark. I remember it was Mark Smith, the referee. I'm not gonna say I hate Mark Smith, but I dislike when he's roughing, especially when he's roughing fighters that I'm a huge fan of, right? So I just feel he's the most inconsistent. and any big shot or any, he's right in the, or at least looks like he's on top of the action. He's on his knee, he's doing on the squat position with his hands ready to go in. His face, you can see his grin, like ready to go in for the stoppage, and doesn't give the fighters a chance to be a fighter. And I don't mean a late stoppage, but I do mean, fighters are going to get rocked. And the inconsistency I'm talking about is, especially in the slap league, that fight that we're talking about in the Dana White Contender Series, go back and watch it. He walked to his corner wobbly as hell. He looked like he was way past the limit of alcohol in his body. When they see that in the power slap fights, immediately waves the call over. So that's what I'm trying to get to. And I know commentators and top level people, the referee's job is the hardest job in the world. I know we saw it happen to Herb Dean with the Carlos Ulberg fight last week, where he just didn't have a vantage point on the tap, and they had to overturn it. But it's when you get to, again, when you get to fighters that you really want to win or lose, whatever it is, and it goes the other way because of that inconsistency, it gets absurd. It gets frustrating. We need. I don't know what the answer is. It's not my job, but we need to do better for sure. And we're not going to get into the judges because that's going to, we would need a whole new stream for that. Anyways, let's get back to this fight. I feel like it's Daniel Golden Boy Silhuber's time to show. What a perfect time to show I am not just a decision machine. My last 3 fights were in the UFC. You want to talk about experience. Well, Dana White Contender Series fought the dude that was, game. He really wanted it. They both. That's a good thing about Contender Series. They both, you're gonna get a good fight. And this last Tuesday, best one ever. Trey Ogden, huge learning point here. And he's at Extreme Couture with Eric. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. I feel like it's been a slow crescendo in his career because his Contender Series outing wasn't the best, but he made it because he's a young fighter. He's gonna grow. He's gonna develop. The leaps that he's gonna make between fights is gonna be such a big difference, and I feel like that's gonna be the huge difference here. Christos Giagos, he can come in, upset everybody here, but would that really prove or show anything about Daniel Golden Boy Huber? What we need from him now is the finish. So Trey Ogden, he loses obviously. Lando Venata, he had that hockey stick graph where the first round he looked like it looked like he was about to get a stoppage. I understand he came back up to his feet. He was saying he was fine, but again, the inconsistency of the refs. I feel like any other ref, definitely. Man, what's that dude's name? The one that stopped Henry and Dominic Cruz. I always forget his name. Keith Peterson. Definitely would have stopped that fight with Lando Venata and Daniel Zehuber. But oh well, that's neither here nor there. Again, we can have a whole debate or a whole 2-3 hours just talking about how bad the reffing is, how bad the judging is. We're not going to go there. Anyways, I feel like that hockey stick graph we were talking about, I feel like Daniel Zehuber is going to go, he's going to reach that little pinnacle where he's going to get to finish somebody. He's going to get to finish Christos Giagos in this point. I feel like he's going to get there. What happened to this? Oh, there we go. So yeah, he's going to get to that. I know the lines don't show this, but give me Golden Boy Huber, possibly second, third round knockout. He's a huge body. If you see Lando Venata's no punk, man. Lando Venata, let's remember, he almost finished El Cucuy. So what better place? Mexican Independence Day, Noche UFC. especially if all um all his other Mexican fighters on the card are showing out and putting out for the people, for the raza. So what a better way to get a stoppage here, said Uber. You know, look for the kill. And he's a nice guy, man. Look at it again, look at his interview. He's a real nice guy. So, and in his fights he's looked tentative, but again, that's part of the experience. You know, he looked like a killer in that first round versus Venata, and then he just kind of let go of the gas. But I feel like in this fight, with everything, you know, Mexican nationality, fighting in Vegas, which he trains in Extreme Couture, so he's pretty much at home field advantage regardless. You know, not having to go through the jet lag, or not having to go through, you know, traveling and packing and all that, because that's something that is not talked about enough. Anyways, give me so Huber again, two big favorites here, but these lines have swelled, and we're talking about this the day before the fights. I mean, there's people already moving lines for 2-3 weeks from now. So at this point, it's just like, if you got a strong take, go for it. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. That's the two fights I want to highlight. I mean, the card is, because I mean, this is one of those classic. This is going to be nothing but a strike fest, or this is not gonna, you know, and it under delivers. But I feel like Kevin Holland, he's just gonna go for it, and he's a slight dog as well. So I mean, that's a pretty good spot to look at. Um, Obviously, we have the two first fights. Not much hype that I've seen. I know a lot of people are on Charlie Campbell by KO or inside the distance. Alex Reyes obviously hasn't fought in about, what I want to say, 6 years or something like that. Let's take a look here. But again, Alex Reyes, the executioner, he has good training partners, man. 2017, man. So you have 6 years ago and lost to Mike Perry. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's not, obviously there's spots that you want to look into, but that would be more of a what do they call those, bias picks? Because I know he trains with like Pitbull, the not the Pitbull brothers, but Pitbull Rojo, the guy that trains with Brandon Moreno. Speaking, anyways, let's get over that. That's not a spot that I want to look into. Charlie Campbell, clearly the better fighter, more active. Let's go. But speaking of the Pitbull brothers, Tracy Cortez, I know, trained out there with them for a couple months in Brazil, and she's at fight ready. 10-1, Jasmine Jastovicius. We know we're talking about the leaps and balances you're going to make when you're a young fighter, rather than when you're an older fighter, you know, pushing mid 30s. I feel like this is one of those spots where Jasmine has made leaps and balances in all her previous fights, but you cannot discredit the way that Cortez has pretty much stormed into the UFC. I mean, let's take a look at her. Let's take a look at her record. So she's on a 10 fight win streak. Her canceled bout with Hibas, I know she had an injury, so that's a big thing that you have to take into consideration. She beat Melissa Gatto in a unanimous decision, and she was in trouble. I mean, there was some spots where she was in trouble, but she had Ortega in her corner at the time. Again, it's just impressive what she's been able to do here. You know, Justin Quiche decisions, split decision that is, and we're going to talk about another split decision in a minute. Stephanie Yeager, decision win. Maria Kopova, decision win. Erin Blanchfield, split decision win in Invicta. And this is where you really put an asterisk as to, did she really win that fight? That's neither here nor there. According to what we were looking at on paper, she won the fight. She beat a very, very good Erin Blanchfield. So, let's look at the. Let's go back to this page here. I believe Cortez is a heavier favorite now. Oh, minus 125. Wow. And this is what I was looking at. Plus 105, near even for Jasmine Jasudavicius. Again, not taking anything away from Jasmine. She's looked great. Um, she's really cleaned up, well rounded her game. A lot of people think she's going to be the heavier fighter or the bigger fighter as far as, stronger. She is 2 inches taller, bigger reach. But the leaps and balances you're going to make being at fight ready with Henry Cejudo, and she made the trip out to the with the Pitbull brothers again in a spot where they're backing the Mexican fighters, the Mexican American fighters. I just have to go with Miss Tracy Cortez here. Yeah. Yeah. 29 years old. I mean, I know she didn't fight. It's been longer for her that she hasn't fought. Her last fight was 2022, so over a year. And Just Vicious has been a little bit active. And I feel like it's a little bit more the recency bias, where she beat a very game Miranda Maverick in um, in a decision. But again, it's one of those things where if you guys want to say, well, who has Tracy Cortez beat? Well, who has um what's her name? Jasmine Jasudavicius beat? She fought Natalia Silva, she lost. She beat Kay Hansen, which I don't even think she's in the UFC anymore. She beat Julia Polastri, which became a very well at the time she wasn't very experienced, but she's now in the UFC. So if they run it back, let's go. That's actually a good fight to make. If Jasudavicius loses, yeah, that's a good fight to make. Give her Julia Polastri and run it back in the big stage. Anyways, so then from then on, I have no idea who all these other level competitions are. So yeah, give me Tracy Cortez here again. Made the bigger balances, made the bigger adjustments, and just judging off of her potential, her ceiling. I'm gonna go Tracy Cortez here. Anyways, we talked about one more fight than we were going to talk about, so we'll end that there. Again, huge card, real nice card, real big card. Top to bottom, Edgar Chaires and Daniel Lacerda. That's going to be a banger. A lot of people are on the under 1.5, but even that is swelled to like minus 250 or something like that. So no thanks. Um, but yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that on my Instagram. I'm super active on there. I'm gonna start being back active on YouTube and Twitch and all this. But let me know what you guys think on your picks. Let me know if you guys have a stronger take on any of these. Again, the Huber over on a little bit here. I just think it's just time to find the finish. I just really do. And then the Chitis one, I know the under's like super, super swelled. I might look to take the over there as well. Sometimes it just got to be a contrary a little bit. It's never going to be what the books say, especially at the prices that there was. Exhibit A is Yarizanya is like a minus 800, minus 700. And we saw what happened there. So we're going to end that there. Let's go back to the, whoa, see, we can move to the other side. Oh, what am I doing here? That's not what I wanted to do. All right. Back to business here. We're gonna run one more fight just because we lost that last one, and we may lose this one as well. But who cares? At least we gave it a third time's the charm cliche. And we're going featherweight. So you know what? Oh, don't use your created fighter. No. I have a rule where if they use their created, I have to use my created. But I really wanted to go with Yair Rodriguez for the vibes, for the Mexican independence. But let's go with my boy Charlie Tavares here. We're gonna fight a cowboy. Again, guys, it's gonna be the weigh-in soon. I'm gonna dedicate my time to watch that in a bit. The ceremonial weigh-ins, that is. So for any questions, oh, I beat this guy before. Pretty cool. Any engagement, any interactions, go support the Instagram at Silo Studios Presents. Plus, we're in a bunch of groups on there that have a lot of insight to fights. And this Noche UFC night could either be a good one or a bad one for me. I may be just going all Mexican fighters, which they're pretty much all favorites. But let's focus on this fight here. Again, we wanna give a different punch. Oh, there it is. You know what I found? That people that move their head once they need to doesn't work out for them. But when they're moving their head without needing to, that's when I feel it works the most. Yeah, we're gonna put this dude away early. Oh, you're a wrestler now. That's fine. We can grapple a little bit. We haven't seen that in the stream here. Go up when they least expect. You just gotta. It's a game, dude. You know what I mean? It's not a real fight. A lot of these tactics wouldn't. What was that? Yeah, this fight is not going over. Oh man, you're really targeting my body, huh? We're about to get his body in a bit. Like now he's moving his head before he even needs to, so that's a good sign. And that's what I'm talking about, the punch count there. He wanted to slip my 1-2 and I only went 1. See right there, you see I went 1. He's expecting the 1-2. I don't even know why I'm trying to tutorial you guys here. Oh my goodness. Let me let me hurt this guy one more time. Just so he can know what's up. Bam. Yeah, I'm gonna put this guy away already. Should we taunt him? Let's give him a zesty taunt. Oh, he flicked me off. Let's give him another zesty taunt. Zesty like Tank Davis. Cowboy. You're a cowboy. Let's give him the zesty taunt. Oh. I usually don't like doing this, but since it's the last fight on the stream, that was pretty cool. That was a good round. Definitely won that round 10-9. I mean, to be fair, I had beat this guy before. The thing is, when I get somebody that has beaten me before, I really go try hard mode. Like I wouldn't be joking around with them. I would try to put them away, get that win back. I'm just SD or prideful like that. This guy's not gonna touch me anymore. I've just changed the punch count too much for him. He's gonna start blocking low, start going high. So watch, he's dropping his hands. We can probably land like a nice reverse back fist here. Oh, bruh. You really want to go that route? All right, bet. Let's go. He's feeling himself, yeah? I need to get that flick off back. This guy really wants to catch him with that spinning heel kick. Oh, that's a glitch on this game, bro. Like sometimes it hits him, but for some reason it whiffs. We're gonna get that flick off back right now. Just give me a second, boys. He throws that spinning heel kick so fast. Right there. There it is. Right in your face, boy. Without canceling it. Took the whole thing. Should we finish him in the second round? Yeah, just because had to do it to him. I will hit him with the rampage howl. Gave us prop. So shout out to that guy. But what a way to end the stream here. Went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but hey, that's what happens. All right, let me remove the. Well, let's just look at the official decision. Man, look at his face. I got a little scraped up too. My body a little banged up. I can't wait to get my hair like white again. Anyways, ZAZEPP, whatever your name is. GG's. GG's. Anyways, we're back up on here, guys. Oh, what's happening to my. Anyways, that's gonna make it. That's gonna do it for this stream here. We had 3 fights. We went 2-1. We got flatline with George Masvidal. I'm not gonna pick him ever again in this game. Talked a little bit about Noche UFC. I know there's a lot of juice favorites, but hey, that's what we got. Those are the picks we like. Again, follow Instagram at CeeLo Studios Presents. You guys will see it somewhere down here. And that's it, boys. We ran it. We're gonna be on here randomly throughout the week whenever we have a little bit of time. Right now is just resting after the gym. Guys, go get your pump in. Go run. I want to get back into running. So if you guys have any tips or tricks on that, again, hit the DMs on Instagram at CeeLo Studios Presents. Other than that, guys, it's been awesome talking about this. I'm gonna do this every so often. Not gonna be a daily thing. I would like for it to be a daily thing, but sometimes there's just no time in a day for this. But that's neither here nor there. Again, catch the weigh-ins in a couple minutes here. I believe it's in an hour. The fights tomorrow, Noche UFC, start at 5 p.m. Eastern time or 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 Central time. Catch those fights. You don't want to miss it. Fernando Padilla, Daniel Silhuber, and a bunch of other guys on the card that you don't want to miss. So other than that, guys, it's been a banger today. It's been a pleasure. Had some fun. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.